Hey, how we doing? This is Dr. B. Today I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to talk about some of the health issues that I've been struggling with really the last couple of years and some of the issues I've been dealing with recently, and also talk a little bit about what I've been doing to get myself back on track. And if you don't know anything about my channel, I usually do a lot of Native American content, a lot of content on history, sociology. So this is going to be a little bit different than what I typically do, but I think it's important. So just to tell you a little bit about my lifestyle, I have a full-time teaching job. I'm a college professor. I also help run 7th Generation Jiu-Jitsu, which is a jiu-jitsu gym that I own and operate. I'm also in a motorcycle club, Pacific Savages Motorcycle Club, and I help out with Savages MC, which is a brother club to Pacific Savages. And there's just all kinds of things that I do, a lot of community work, in addition to some of the content that I do here on YouTube and my podcast. And I'm just a really busy person, so I have a very busy lifestyle. I'm also getting older as well. I just turned 53, and I've been training jiu-jitsu for the last 20 plus years. I've been a black belt for 8 years now. And so I have a lot of miles on my body. I definitely am very, very active. And I try my best to be really healthy. Some people kind of laugh at me because of the way that I eat. And I've had some people say, man, you're one of the healthiest people I've ever met in my life. But the reality is that my lifestyle isn't always very healthy. And I want to share with you just some of my thoughts on that. I do eat very well. I definitely try to watch my diet. But one of the issues I've had over the years definitely is getting consistent, good sleep. Pretty busy throughout the day, throughout the entire week, typically Monday through Friday, waking up early, not getting in bed till late, and also training jiu-jitsu as well. So physically beating myself up at the gym, and then being busy at work, being busy on the weekends, family life. It's definitely not a lifestyle that doesn't come with a lot of stress. I mean, if you're dealing with a lot of stress and then you're not sleeping well, it's definitely not good for your health. So you can eat well, you can exercise, and you can still not be very healthy. And I think that's one of the things I've learned as I've gotten older, somebody who's now 53, and especially what has happened recently, which I'll talk about next. So the last couple years have definitely been stressful. I had a little health issue had come up probably about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, I guess. And I ended up having surgery for that about 13 months ago. Not a big deal. Everything turned out great, but I was definitely dealing with some pain, some physical pain. I had surgery. I probably came back to jiu-jitsu a little bit too fast. I never really slowed down. And then my son had a health issue, had come up right after I had surgery, and he was in the hospital. And he had a couple of emergency surgeries, and it was just like a crazy stressful time. And I was trying my best to juggle my full-time job, my motorcycle club, which I had a lot of responsibilities for, and of course my gym as well. So I had a lot going on. And of course I never really slowed down, and I started really feeling like crap in the fall and winter months. I don't know if it was just the stress, again, lack of sleep. Just there was a lot going on in my life, running the gym, and also there were things that had come up at the gym, in my motorcycle club as well, that I felt like put a lot of stress on me. And again, stress is just one of those things. It's a silent killer. It just slowly just creeps up on you. And if you're not good at dealing with stress, or if you live a stressful life and you're busy, it can be damaging to your sense of well-being. And I definitely felt that this last 6 months, which is hard for me to admit because, you know, I see myself as a strong person, the kind of person who would just muscle through anything, which is not always the best thing to do. And I kept telling myself, I need to dial it back. I need to rest a bit more. I need to get my sleep right. I need to start thinking more about my general well-being. But then recently, I started dealing with some back pain, and that back pain turned into nerve pain, and it turned into nerve damage. And I'm at this point now, really the last 4 weeks, which I'm trying to recover from not just the back pain that I'm dealing with, a disc issue, but also nerve damage as well. So I can't train jiu-jitsu. There's just so much that I would be doing that I can't do now, like hiking, just all the physical activities I would be doing typically during the summer, haven't been able to do. And so I'm doing everything to get myself back on track. And that's what I would like to talk about, not just in this video, maybe in a couple of videos as well. Maybe it'll help somebody, I don't know. And it's kind of therapeutic for me as well, because this last 5 weeks have definitely been kind of rough, not being able to do some of the things that make me happy. I've really done my best to fix some of these issues as much as I can, as quickly as I can. And one of the things, I've always eaten really healthy, but I have cleaned up my diet quite a bit, even more. And I want to share that with you because just some of the simple changes I've made, I've lost about 10 pounds in about 4 weeks, which I think is pretty cool. So I'm going to share with you some of my diet changes. All right, so here we are in my kitchen, and these are some of the foods that I want to show you guys that I've been eating lately. But I just want to talk about some of the stuff I've taken out of my diet first. Taking out rice, pasta, any kind of breads. I didn't eat a lot of those foods previously, but I would cheat from time to time, and I've completely taken that out. So no cheating at all in the last 4 weeks. I haven't eaten any breads, pastas, or rice. And I've also always eaten a lot of trail mix that I make myself. I'll use pistachios and raisins, almonds, walnuts, cashews. And that's typically pretty good, but there's a lot of calories there. So I've completely 86'd that from my diet as well. And that has reduced a lot of my calorie intake. And if I'm training jiu-jitsu and I'm being really active, I think I could eat those kind of foods. And they have a lot of fats, good healthy fats, a lot of really great foods to eat by all means. Pistachios, walnuts, pumpkin seeds as well. Great foods, but they're definitely high in calories. So I just got rid of those for the time being, and I'm probably going to incorporate that back into my diet. I still eat some fruit, blueberries and cherries, and I try to do some lemon water as well from time to time. Not every day, but every now and again. And then I have this tart cherry juice, which is really good for inflammation. And I usually start with these two containers. I fill them up with water, and looks like that one's empty. This one's still full, so I got to get through that one. I try to refill them, and then just make sure I'm getting my water. And then I usually do French press in the morning with nothing, just my coffee. That's it. Pete's, dark roast, French roast, and that's what I like. Throw it in the French press, and then good to go. But I don't add anything. I don't add no cream, no sugar. I definitely do eat a lot of eggs, and I bought these eggs over, I think, at Sprouts, and they're really cool looking, but they taste really good, and they're free range. I really advise, if you have the money, definitely get some good eggs, invest in them, because there's some really good eggs out there that are pretty tasty. But if all you have is just the regular eggs that you buy at a regular grocery store, you kind of got to go with what you can go with. And I eat a lot of ground beef as well. I try to do grass-fed beef as much as I can, but it doesn't always work out. But here are some of the beef that I have. This is actually bison, which is really cool. And these are really, really good. So, been upping my protein. And one thing about what I've noticed about when you get a lot of protein in your diet, it definitely kills your appetite. And there's been times where, man, I can't even finish my food because I'm just so full. It has a lot to do with the fact that I'm not working out either, which is definitely makes me where I'm not so hungry. And see, I got these over at Costco, and they're 100% grass-fed. They're okay. I don't really like them. I'd rather eat just ground beef or some steaks. Been doing a lot of ribeye, so really upping my protein. Some people call this like the carnivore diet, but I'm not calling it a carnivore diet. These are just some of the foods that I've been eating. And I've been adding this mineral salt right here just to make sure I'm getting my minerals that I need. And so just doing salt mostly, not really doing any other seasonings. And then from time to time I do kombucha, which does have a little bit of sugar in it, but I like it. It makes me feel good. And then I've been doing some bone broth as well, and just keeping it really super simple. It's mostly just trying to reduce the number of hours that I eat during the day. So my eating window is about 8 hours long. And then I try to fast for about 16 hours. Sometimes I go a little bit longer. I've also done a couple of 24-hour fasts as well. I think I've done 3 of them. And that I feel like is really, really helpful. But anyway, this is what I've done to lose that 10 pounds. Again, some people would call it carnivore because I have my eggs, but some people would say, well, it's not a very good carnivore because I'm doing kombucha that does have some carbohydrates. And then you have the blueberries and the different types of fruits that I also eat, which I like. I feel good on this diet. I feel really, really good. And I feel satiated as well, so I'm not nearly as hungry. When I get back to 100% and I start training, I'll probably try to incorporate some other foods back in my diet, but this is good for me right now just because I'm not really all that physically active, not like I typically am. And there was a couple weeks where I couldn't even walk, so I was just trying to get my protein up and get those essential amino acids. I also take some cod liver oil as well, and this is really good for your joints. And I haven't taken it in a while, so I've been doing cod liver oil. I also been taking creatine, and I had taken creatine before, but I had stopped taking it. So I've been trying to, again, just up my protein intake just to keep my muscle as much as I can, and eating very little in terms of carbohydrates, although like I said, kombucha, it does have carbs, does have some sugar, 15 grams of carbs just in that one bottle, so it's not a lot. And I eat, some fruit as well. Avocados, I don't have any avocados out, but I definitely do eat avocados, a little bit of asparagus. And this is really what's helped me cut that 10 pounds. I think I'm down probably more like 12 pounds now. So this has pretty much been my diet. Very, very simple. Again, a lot of protein. And this isn't it, by the way. So I've also eaten salmon as well. So I do some fish, some shellfish, and I just feel really good. I feel really good on this diet. And something I noticed is that my inflammation, my pain that I was in has just decreased dramatically by eating these foods. So you can call it what you want. Like I said, some people might call it a carnivore diet. I don't really want to put a label on it. These are just the foods that make me feel good. And that's what I always tell people, is that experiment with your diet. If you're eating food and you feel like crap after, when probably might want to take that food out. So there's been a couple of foods I have eaten in the last month or so that I just didn't feel good after I ate it. So I was just like, I'm not gonna eat that anymore. And I've just tried to keep it really strict here. A lot of water, a little bit of coffee in the morning, and making sure that I get my minerals with my salt. This kind of diet right here, you have to definitely be watching that your electrolytes are good. I definitely don't want to be cramping right now, so I'm trying to drink a lot of water, but making sure that I have electrolytes as well. And I might, buy some stuff in the future to make sure I'm getting my electrolytes, but without any kind of sugar. I don't do any kind of fake sugar as well. Before I got hurt, I would do a lot of raw honey, which isn't bad for you, but it's just that extra calorie intake. I've tried to just reduce my calories as much as I can, so that way I can keep my weight down. But I've ended up just doing this naturally, losing weight, and not even really trying. So I'm not trying to lose weight, really. I was just trying to keep as much muscle mass as I can and not gain weight, but I ended up losing a lot of weight, which I think was really good. And so I'm down, like I said, about 10, 12 pounds. And my goal is to get down at least another maybe 7, 8 pounds. So I think I'll get there, and then hopefully as time goes on, I can incorporate some of these foods back in my diet. All right, so those are some of the foods I've been eating lately. And like I said, the initial goal wasn't to lose weight. I just didn't want to gain weight while I was laid up, because when I first started dealing with this nerve pain and this back issue, it was debilitating. I couldn't even walk, so I wasn't able to work out, wasn't able to do anything. And so changing my diet, making these adjustments, the hope was that I wouldn't gain any weight, but I ended up losing weight naturally. And I feel like this diet that I'm on, like I said, I don't even want to call it a diet. It's just the way that I've been eating, this lifestyle. I feel like it's really good for me and my genetics. I feel like a high protein diet is something that my ancestors had, and we just didn't eat a lot of carbohydrates, and we ate a lot of protein, a lot of beef. And I think this is something that works well for me. I just generally feel better. I'm not on any pain meds right now. The pain was excruciating, and I just feel like I'm more clear upstairs, which is good. I'm not dealing with any kind of brain fog right now, and my joint issues are not nearly as bad as I feel like they were before. My knees were always a little achy, and just from training jiu-jitsu, just from attrition on the mat. But right now I'm feeling good, and I'm eating more like my ancestors ate, taking out all these foods that I know aren't good for me. And right now I'm feeling pretty good. I have a long ways to go, especially considering that I'm dealing with nerve damage right now. But I do feel like this diet, again, I'm calling it a diet again, but some of these dietary changes are certainly helping. And if you have any questions about it, leave them in the comment section. I know there's some people are probably going to say, oh, you're missing out on these essential nutrients and whatnot. But everything that I've been reading about a protein-based diet, a carnivore diet, or whatever you want to call it, is that it's really, really good for inflammation and joint issues. And that's what I really need to get down in my body, is all the inflammation, stress, poor diet, poor sleep. All that leads to inflammation. All that leads to is disease. And so I'm trying to get that under control. So anyway, I'm going to check in again, maybe talk about some other changes I've been making. I have a long ways to go. I'm not even close to being back on the mat just yet, but I'm getting there. I feel like every day I'm just getting a little bit closer to my goal. And so hopefully I'll have a video with me back at my gym, back on the mat, training jiu-jitsu, at least teaching and doing some of the things that I was doing previously. But until then, I'm just going to keep pushing forward, keep positive. I know that I'm going to get myself back to where I want to be, and I'm going to be better than I was before I started dealing with some of these issues. All right, y'all, this is Dr. B. Until next time, later.